Everybody, welcome back. So today I am going to use this molding machine behind me, made by Williams and Hussey. I've got a small project, and at the end of the video, we'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So this was a project of a turn of the century home, and the moldings were no longer available. Even the size wise, I needed a 2¼ inch bed molding. You can get a lot of 2 1¾ and some 1 9/16 bed moldings, but you can't. Nobody makes, at least around here, it's not readily available, and even to some of my bigger commercial shops. Now they could run those moldings, and 8 foot of molding was there. The one quote I got was about $250 for that 8 feet of molding, just because it's their setup charges and blah blah blah. And it is what it is. And for those guys, it's more about the time of setup, which is what this stuff is all usually about, than the materials or anything like that. So that ended up being about the same cost as my knives. So I just decided that, you know what, I really like using this machine. I don't get to use it very often, so for the same cost, I could buy a set of knives, have a set of knives for the future, and do it that way. So I went ahead and ordered out the knives from William and Hussey. They are now pretty local to me here, relatively. They're a few hours away, but when I ordered it on a Friday afternoon, put my order in, and they say normally it's a week turnaround for them, and they happen to be a little bit slower apparently. So Monday they were able to cut the knives. It went into shipping on Tuesday. Wednesday afternoon, noon, it shows up at my house, at the shop here, and by 5 o'clock on Wednesday, the piece of molding's done, and it gets installed on Thursday. So that's, for a custom piece of molding, that is pretty phenomenal. So I'm gonna take you through kind of a little bit about this molder, and kind of just kind of walk through it. I plan on doing some additional ones, either on this channel and possibly another channel that some of you may know about. We'll be doing some other moldings and stuff. So look forward to that in the future, and we'll probably go more in depth. But so let's jump in and kind of show you this 8 feet of molding that we're going to run, and what it's going to take to do that. All right, so when we're doing this, this particular setup, you run the back of the molding first and cut the profile for the 2 bevels that go in, that lay against the wall. And oh, wait a minute, dust collection is optional apparently on this one, so that didn't fit really well. Anyway, so I'm cutting, in this scenario, I'm cutting the back of it and running it through this way, and then once this runs through, and I'm actually running these knives pretty slow. I could probably run these a lot faster, but with only running one piece of molding, it really doesn't need to be fast at all. If I was doing more production, I could, it's just a variable speed, so I can play with it a little bit more. I just want to kind of bring you in and kind of see the insides of here. So we have a feed roller. This is our in feed. And then our out feed roller. And then for the back, we just has 2 knives. So this is set up so you can do about 6 inches wide. And you can do any number of different moldings. They have a ton of moldings that you can, knives that they've got on the shelf, and not necessarily on the shelf, but on that they've already got profiles cut for. So here's the one we're doing is the 1051. So I'm doing the top and bottom. So we just ran this profile here. So we're going to end up being 2 1/4 inches wide, and then we'll be 3/4 of an inch thick when we do that. So on this one, we do the back first. We'll run that. Now what I'll do is we'll go ahead and unbolt both of these knives, and then we'll switch over to the other profile for the front. We will probably do a little bit of adjustment on our side to side just to make sure that I get where I want to be. And then from there, we'll go ahead and run the top and we'll be done. So one of the things I would say is on any of these things, this is, it's all about the setup time. The run time is actually pretty minimal, especially with a short run like this where we're only doing literally one piece. So I did do a couple of different, I just took some scraps and made them the exact same size of the piece I was going to cut out of, and so I could set those up and, tweaking kind of where my fences are from side to side, getting my depth set where I wanted at to give the profile finish when I'm said and done. So but I can run like little 12-inch scraps through here and make it work really well and get this thing dialed in exactly where I want it. And once it's dialed in, it'll sit there and run. So all right, there's a piece I was trying to match. There's a piece that we'll replace it with. There is a little bit of slight difference in these, but this molding is going to be on a second story underneath a soffit, and it's going to get painted, and that's going to be perfectly acceptable. And I only have one edge that's going to butt up at one miter corner, and then the other one is a dead end that doesn't go to anything, so that's going to be perfectly fine. All right, here's that window, and I'll put a picture up here at some point of what this looked like before. So this was actually a door that came down. There's a landing right about here, and I'll get a picture of that. And they put an egress window or egress door in there. So we pulled the door out, and then we continue. So in here, ooh, I can't see it. That is, we replaced that board, replaced some of the siding down in here, and then just underneath the window, you can just barely see is where that molding is that we made. So there you can see kind of the overall. So we were trying to get something that looked like maybe it was originally that the roof here did continue all the way and connect in there, and then when they put the egress door in, they cut that out. But that's where we put that molding, so that it wasn't completely matched. Not a big deal up in there because you're never going to see that, even if you get up close. But putting in something smaller that would have showed up, and just slapping a piece of wood up there wouldn't have worked. So yeah, so this one's done. Another client's happy with this, and yeah, until next time, take care.